I think this is
What's
actually our
going on,
five feature.
everybody? Can you hear me okay? Because sometimes this platform kicks my mic. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get started. What is going on? This is Drew and JC, and we are here with another very exciting, I don't know if I want to call it horror watchers or not, but we're going to speak to a really cool filmmaker. I've seen some of their stuff, and as always, I'm just going to kick it over to Darrell. Let Darrell do a brief introduction, and we'll go from there.
Hey, my name is Darrell Strickland. I'm the co-owner and the director at Stricknyne Films. We're a Tahlequah-based film company in Oklahoma, and so we've made two feature films. We're working on more, and we just got started in 2023, and we're trying to keep on rolling. But yeah.
Yeah, sweet. I have so many questions. After watching your stuff, I don't know if this is too informal. I just thought it would be cool to kind of lean back because my chair reclines, and now I kind of feel like a stooge. But yeah, I'm usually like super up close and really official. But I don't know. I got this chair that leans back.
Yeah, you look like
The
a
film.
douchebag.
I figured. The films that you had shared with us, I watched them today, and I enjoyed them quite a lot for various reasons that I'm looking forward to getting into. But I guess like the best place to start in an interview is like the beginning here. So what what inspired you to get into this zany filmmaking business?
So I've always been a huge horror fan. My mom raised me and my siblings on horror movies. That was her kind of cup of tea. She was a 70s and 80s kid, and so she always watched all the movies as they were coming out and renting them and everything. And so that was kind of something that we've always had as like a family dynamic was, the appreciation for, classic horror movies. And so with that naturally just kind of became fans like throughout like YouTube, and we got involved with like the underground like YouTube unboxing community on like 2015, 2016 and stuff. And that opened us up to like learning about like independent filmmakers and low budget filmmaking and itself. And like that introduced us to Texas Horror or Texas Frightmare Weekend, which is a horror convention in Dallas. And over there, like just being able to connect with like all these different like filmmakers and other fans that are just like us, it really inspired us in a lot of ways. And it wasn't until um, we were at Texas Frightmare Weekend 2022, 23, 23. And we got to meet John Carpenter, and meeting him, it really kind of pushed us because, we never got to meet like Wes Craven or George Romero or guys like that. And being able to meet John Carpenter was kind of that snapping point for us where it was like, we have to start making movies. Like if like we have to have some sort of carbon footprint in the horror genre while we can, And that was just the biggest kind of motivation because right after that convention, I immediately went and started writing for our first feature film. And it was just kind of an amalgamation of, everything that I've loved about horror movies and just trying to use all of that as inspiration to really start this journey. But yeah, it's kind of a long time coming.
Yeah, that's always really cool when you're able to meet people in that environment and it goes well. I know like so much of the convention scene is like convoluted, and since
Yeah.
COVID it's kind of gotten worse in some regard, but like it is really cool when you have those moments where like, oh man, here's John Carpenter and this moment was great, and here you are changed because of it. I had a similar one many years ago when I was in high school still. We had the Pittsburgh comic book convention, and I'm sure you're familiar with John Russo, the co creator with George Romero on Night of the Living Dead, and of course Return of the Living Dead. He did same year that Day came out. But I had spoke to him for like at length. I can't even remember how long. We ended up like exchanging phone numbers and stuff. And like I, at some point, I'm at my aunt's house one day, just moving a couch, and Russo calls me just to chat, and it's kind of like to this day kind of blows my mind that like, dude, I'm in the middle of like lifting a couch right now, and this filmmaker that changed my life called me to say what's up.
Yeah.
So like it's super relatable. Um, I have to ask, above what I think is your left shoulder on the wall there, you have a couple of pictures.
Hmm.
Are those the killer from the Red Rib? What? I can't remember the name of
Blood
the
Red
movie.
River Bed. Yeah.
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 Is that the killer?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that there is a drawing that the killer actually did himself, of the poster art that we have. That was our original poster art there. And it's just kind of a lot of different things from Blood Red that I kind of have collected from like promotion and things like that. But yeah, it's kind of my little shrine.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's sick. I noticed it immediately. I wanted to bring it up before I forgot to ask about it. I think that's cool to have that. So, which of those two films did you do first?
Oh, we did Blood Red Riverbed first. Yeah. And that
Okay,
was
that was
the
okay. Ahead.
oh yeah, I was just saying that was the one that was a regular feature length, not the anthology one. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that one a lot. If I'm not, I watched them back to back. So if anything is like, you know, discombobulated between the films, I do apologize. Oh, I disappeared. So I guess
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
good.
just sit up. uh, is this the film where you had the person who was killed while he was in the bathroom and he like went into the stall
Mhm.
and killed? Okay. I wanted to bring that up because we talk about like these old horror movies, and that's something that I can never escape from if I'm ever in a public restroom, or if I'm at a
Yeah.
like a campground or something and there's some type of facility or porta potty. I think that is one of my favorite gags in any horror movie, dating back to I remember being super young and I watched the Sleepaway Camp sequels, and she like, yeah, I can't. I think she like drops the beehive or something while somebody's
Yeah.
in the restroom trying to go, and then of course the Friday the 13th. I want to say, is it 4, where he kills Juana Man, who's
Oh
in
yeah,
a porta
five.
potty. Five. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I always love that movie. So like,
Yeah.
Juana Man is like the
Yeah. The basketball
uh,
movie. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so when I saw that there, that immediately harkened back to that feeling that I always get, where it's like equal part amusement, and then also like takes me back to when I was super young and I'm seeing these scenes happen, and it's like almost like a visceral thing where it grabs my attention because when I was super young, that scared me, and you kind of elicited that reaction from me in that moment. Uh, Whether or not that was what you're going for, or if you're like looking for like strictly like maybe comedic timing elements or whatever. You got both for me. So that was one thing I just wanted to like give props to, because I feel like those types of kill scenes, even I mean I guess I was gonna say recently, but I guess that movie came out literally 20 years ago this weekend with Rob Zombie's Halloween, where Ken Foree gets killed in the stall. It's just something. It's a gag in these movies that I just super appreciate. Is there a similar reason for you? Is that why you included it, or is you just like, well, let's kill him while he's taking a dump?
Yeah, it was definitely an homage to those kinds of films for sure. I guess the big one was like Halloween H2O. They didn't really do a kill with it, but it was where Michael Myers came in and everything. And it's kind of a recurring thing in the Halloween movies for sure. But yeah, it was something we wanted to do our own twist on for sure and try to bring that in. But
Yeah, I guess even in Zombieland, they kind of make reference to the fact that that's a kind of horror. I don't
yeah,
want to say cliche, but yeah, something that you see a lot and had reasoning offered for it there as well. Um,
yeah,
but let's talk about the killer from this movie. Like, what was your inspiration for? I mean, well, the tale, and I guess more specifically the appearance of this guy that's walking around in this hat and skull face. I could never tell if the movie specifically was if it was a guy in a suit or if there was like the actual like creature from the story that you opened with. Like, is it this like a demon or I don't know if I again because I watched them back to back. I don't know if my brain consumed everything correctly.
yeah. So it's definitely a bit more of like a supernatural kind of killer. Or he's kind of the kind of story with it is like you if you talk about him after dark on the river, then he's pretty much going to come after you. But yeah, there's a lot of like inspiration for sure. A big one being like the Candyman in that sense with like the style of it. But we took a lot of inspiration from like the Undertaker, like the and then like the Skull Cowboy from the Crow comics. That's another one that we got inspiration from. Like the Mask of the Red Death was another one. We just wanted to do that. I really wanted to do it like a skull because I had a dream about it in a sense, and that was kind of what I seen in my dream was something similar to that. And so yeah, I wanted to try to make him cool though too, because there's that Western kind of look to him and everything. And yeah, that's just the best way to put it. We wanted to have him some like swagger to him, you know. So he kind of has a little bit of style. He's got the scarf and everything, and yeah, he just kind of bops a little bit when he walks, you know. And yeah, we wanted, if anything, we wanted the killer to stand out in the film because you know it's his movie, and realistically, like he's kind of the star of it. But yeah,
I noticed in the credits that you had like four or five people that portrayed the character. Was that
yeah.
out of necessity because you're like low budget guerrilla filming, or was that something that you were like looking to do out of the gate to maybe give the character different, I don't know, gait, stance, like appearance in some way to just kind of make it seem more supernatural that it could be a different, form maybe?
Yeah, it was definitely out of pure necessity for sure. Yeah, so yeah, it started off with just one guy being casted as the Reaper, but like it turned out like certain people like wouldn't show up to days that we needed to shoot, and then he'd be available, but they wouldn't, and then they, you know, back and forth of people not being available at the same time, and so we were like, well, we've got to get this shoot, and so we just throw the costume on somebody. Like even at one point, Danny, my brother, was in the costume, and in the opening part, like with the where the Reaper grabs like the weapon out of the tree, that was my hand that did that. But yeah, just different. Like yeah, whenever we needed it, it was somebody wearing the garb. But yeah,
Yeah, that's Gorilla 101. It's so fun.
yeah,
The last movie that we did, we had to rewrite on the fly the day of because nobody showed up to film, and I think including him. And I think like we had a better movie for it, and those like trials and tribulations that you have are, it's part of the fun, really, at this level at least when you
it ended
don't
up
have.
being like the most unique movie, I think, at least last year and this year. Just because like we're all lazy and nobody wanted to show up.
That
let him
happens.
let him speak for everybody else, I guess. I drove hours and hours, but hey man, if you're interested, I'll share a link with you. You can watch it.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check it
It's,
out. Yeah,
it's it was fun. You could see though where it was just completely meant to be something else and just became like its own separate thing. But yeah, man,
yeah,
I relate to that so much. I've never had a shoot that ever went as planned. I've never had everybody show up that said was going to show up. You know, we just, well, I
yeah,
guess on the fly, we just got to figure it out. That's again, that's really the fun of it. Um,
yeah.
so were both of these films shot on the reservation, or was that just the one where
Yeah.
you specifically they were?
Yeah,
Oh,
because where we live is Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and that's considered a Cherokee reservation. And yeah, so most of Miracle of Islands was filmed on the reservation. There's just a couple of segments that were filmed remotely from like other filmmakers, and that was the only parts that weren't. But yeah, everything else was on both films. But
yeah. Is that? Do you think that's easier to kind of get away with stuff, or does it make it more difficult? I've never been to one, but I know like there's almost like kind of your own set of rules there, or unless I've just been given misinformation from television shows.
so ours is a bit more it's a bit more of an established town already, in the sense. And so it's there's like there's the Tahlequah police, but then there's also Cherokee marshals. And so there's like kind of like separate things, like they both have jurisdiction and things like that. But then like if I was to get in trouble or something, I'd have to be tried through like tribal court and stuff because I'm a Cherokee citizen, as opposed to like city and stuff. Like, but yeah, it's kind of weird in that sense. But yeah, I yeah, I don't know all the details of it, but yeah, I know it's very I think there's a lot of tensions in the police because there's like also the Cherokee County Police that's here too. So it's like, and then Highway Patrol is stationed here. So yeah, there's four different like police departments. But yeah, so it's just yeah, it's still like everywhere else. But yeah, whenever you get in trouble, I guess it just depends on what race you are. I guess I don't know,
Uh,
but
so I'm guessing you like didn't have permits for any of this,
no,
and you're running. So you're running potentially from four different police departments trying to get your shots in. And
yeah,
that's that's where I was getting at, man. That's like super. That's super cool because when we do it, we have the one police department. It's just like
yeah,
the local guys that have been tired of seeing our shenanigans, and now you just said there's four, so that's like four
yeah.
times as badass.
Thank you.
I imagine that makes it shooting a little tricky, but one thing
Yeah,
for kind of like low budget stuff, you have some really nice locations in your films. And I one of the things I wanted to ask about, I think this is moving on to the other film, but yeah, the anthology where you spend a lot of time in a movie theater. And I was
yeah.
curious if you guys like, does somebody know someone who owns it? Does somebody work there? Or how did you get access to that place? Because it seemed like you spent a good portion of that film actually in there with a couple of different scenes.
Yeah. So Danny was the assistant general manager there for like almost 2 years, and yeah, he was kind of iffy about filming there at first, but then like there's a word that it was going to be getting shut down, so we said, we might as well just try it and do what we can, and so we filmed everything we could, like after closing and before opening and stuff, um, like for that film, and like we got it done and everything, and then they made an announcement that they actually were closing, and so we've been rushing around and we've been making our third feature film, and it's completely at the movie theater, like entirely filmed at the theater, just because we had to make the most of that location, like while we had it, because like there's probably never going to be another chance for us to film in a theater like that again, especially with all the theaters dying out now, and the ones that do exist are big like franchise theaters and things like that. And so yeah, it was luck of the stars, really, like that it happened, but yeah, just my brother being the assistant GM and his boss being nice enough to let it happen too. But
No, that's cool. Yeah, I was gonna ask if that was like something like you guys were sneaking around, having to go in, like shut cameras off before you start filming or something. But
yeah, there was
yeah,
one
no,
time like yeah, man, yeah, the boss came in one time and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And we are like, "Oh yeah, we're just filming." And he's like, "Okay," but yeah, he's like, "There's nobody in the office." But yeah, that was his only rule.
that's sweet. So is that place still open right now? You still filming there, or did it like close down officially?
It closed down 2 weekends ago now. So yeah,
Man.
it's been now we got to go all the way to Muskogee, which is about 30 minutes away from us, and yeah, and they're supposed to be doing the same thing within a year or so. So after that, then it'll be going to Tulsa to watch movies. But yeah,
I have a similar problem. I live in literally the middle of the state of Pennsylvania now, and I have to drive 40 minutes to an hour to anything, especially movie theaters. I think the closest movie theater to me is 45 minutes.
yeah,
So I feel that. I remember literally every town had them. Well, we're not all lucky enough to live in Cleveland, Ohio.
I wouldn't call that luck.
Did you happen to screen it? Yeah. Did you happen to screen any of these movies at that theater by chance?
no, I mean we did like private showings with friends, like just a few of us sitting there and watching them. But yeah, we really wanted to. It just never worked out with like finances because they still wanted us to rent it out fully and everything, and it just costed too much for what we could afford and what they wanted and everything. But yeah, it would have been cool to do it while it was still there, because yeah, but it'll be one of the big mistakes that we like regrets of like not doing it while I was there. But
No, it was cool. I really liked it. The whole backdrop. I like the kind of like in the shots where you went up the stairs and there's still the posters on the walls everywhere. And whatever room you're in, when I believe your character dies, like you're in the corner and you get killed, and it kind of like there's a poster that falls down on you.
yeah,
That room, it blew my mind because I had never in my entire life thought to put a poster in the corner where two walls meet. But
yeah,
you guys, like, that was a jarring thing. I was like, wow, that you could do that. That works. That looks good. I've never done
yeah,
that. And so even like all of those like little details in the background, it really resonated with me. Like I really liked it a lot. And I think that theater in the movie, like, had a lot to do with it. Like it pulled me in. And then, obviously later on in the film when you have the character who snuck into a different movie and she's like kind of being obnoxious, and
yeah,
I'm like, oh, man, that's the same movie, but that's the same movie theater, but that is totally a completely different presentation of it. And it felt like it didn't feel like I'm just watching this thing unfold in the same area that I watched these other characters walk through prior to the movie. So like everything about that was super well done. I really liked it. Like, so mad props on that.
thank you, and a lot of that I would say would go to my brother Danny too, because he kind of like as he was working there, and everything, he just had like the vision and everything of what he's seen, because yeah, a lot of that influence was from him and things like that. But
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to give too much about these movies away either, so I'm
yeah,
gonna stop spoiling things. But one thing that I did like about that film was, and you mentioned it earlier, so I feel safe. Like it's not like a full on spoiler here, but you said you'd gotten into unboxings and how that kind of helps you get into filmmaking. I wanted to ask specifically how those two things kind of correlated. I enjoy your unboxings, and you feature some in that movie, and so I was going to ask about that anyway. But like, like what pulled you into unboxings, made it an interest of yours, and then how did it correlate over to filmmaking?
So it's kind of weird. I was in high school, and I was very much a bit of a loner, and especially like in my later years of high school, and so it was. Let's see, I think the end of my sophomore year, I got really into it, and it was more so I was watching channels. It was like, um, let's see, there was like Joe's House of Horror, Joe Manganaro, and then Tony Rapino, Candy Corn Apocalypse, and let's see, Johnny Tejaz, the Hyper Geek. They were like these YouTubers from around like 2016 and stuff, and they, in a sense, made me feel a lot less alone. It made me feel like I had a community, and they were all real big into horror. They were doing unboxings of different subscription boxes like Cryptocurium, Parcel of Terror. Uh, it was like Bambox, Don't Eat the Gum, just these cool like unboxing like subscription boxes and stuff that were out at the time, because like 10 years ago that was the biggest thing that was around, was subscription boxes. And so that really is what engaged me, was because there wasn't really anything horror memorabilia, merchandise, nothing really out there except for like McFarlane Movie Maniacs and limited edition like releases that would come with like a little figure or a bust or something. Like there really wasn't much horror out there, and nowadays it's a dime a dozen. You can go into Walmart and get stuff now,
Right.
which is crazy. And so like being a lifelong horror fan, and then seeing these guys be fans as well, and then also have these cool like figures and plushies and posters, t-shirts, all sorts of things. And it just kind of got me kind of obsessed with it, in a sense, to where I started even buying my own stuff and started collecting my own stuff. And um, the biggest part of it was the community. There was the many people that I met and am still friends with today on Facebook and stuff. Like they live all over the country and all over the world, really. And like we're still interact with each other like sporadically and stuff. And so that's really like the biggest thing that got me into the unboxing scene and everything. But yeah, and then they would all meet up at this convention, the Texas Frightmare Weekend convention, and they did like 3 or 4 meetups around like 2016 to 2019, and I really wanted to go. I was really like, we were really going to do our best to be at the 2019 one, but it fell through last minute. We got our tickets and everything, but couldn't make it, and sadly we didn't get to make it the next year because COVID. And then we finally got the chance to go in 2022, and got to meet a lot of the people in person and stuff. And that was, surreal, getting to, see these people make vlogs and stuff of this event, and then be there at the event years later. It was a full circle moment for us. And yeah, it means so much to me, like, because for me that's my roots, because I used to make YouTube videos. If you look up Darrell Strickland's Library of Horrors, you can find my old channel from whenever I was a teenager and what I was doing then with the unboxing community and stuff. But and it's cool that like a lot of those people, they backed our first film on Indiegogo, and they're still supporting us today, and supporting movies that we're making and things like that. Like the community's definitely changed a lot since then, but like it's cool that there's still the same people there and everything like that. But yeah, kind of a long answer, but yeah, it was.
No, it's great. Yeah. So yeah, again, you said like full circle, and it really is, because in addition to all that, you know, that's where you had talked about seeing John Carpenter, and it was like, well, this is what we want to do. We gotta leave that carbon footprint of making movies too. So it
Yeah.
really was not just a full circle, but like creating this next venture. So, um, are any of those people the uh, unboxers from the anthology movie?
No, those are people that I met through Janice.click. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's a very low budget underground filmmaker. He does the shot on video type films. But he is kind of big in the no budget community. He's good friends with like Blood Sick Productions based in Philly, and he's good friends with like Gosh Darn Video and guys like that and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a whole nother kind of community that's been kind of growing a lot here lately, is like the underground shot on video community. And yeah, guys like Other Trash Video, Dave Dawson, and like a lot of these guys are just following in the footsteps of like the old school, like Hugh Gallagher, Todd Sheets, Donald Farmer, like the old school shot on video guys. And so it's cool, like it's kind of a resurgence, you know. And so we reached out to those guys because like it was almost like a like if you get a chance to watch anything of Janice.clicks, my personal favorite was his latest Tint Burner. And it's his anthology film. It's a little bit more serious for the stuff that he does, but yeah, it's pretty much what directly inspired us to do The Miracle of Violence. And yeah, so yeah, we just wanted to try to see if we could in some way reach out to other people and have them involved with the film, like to kind of give them a prompt and then step back and let them kind of do what they could with it, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah, so that was a really cool experience to do and everything. But
yeah. Couple of things to touch on there. Donald Farmer is awesome. He's been on this show.
oh, that's
He,
so
yeah, I call him a pal of our show because not only has he been on the show a couple of times, but he's in our movie that we shot
oh cool.
remotely. Yeah, we shot remotely with him. We jumped on like our old platform and just kind of piled out with him for a bit, and he did some recording with us. Um, yeah, he's down to do stuff anytime I reach out. He's the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah,
Uh, so anytime he comes up so much on here, like it's great. You know, it's like this, yeah,
yeah,
dude, Red List. This dude's a legend. And he talks to me. You know, like it's insane. Um,
yeah.
Also, we had Frank Farrell, who you know
Oh, yeah.
famously. Okay, yeah, I love when
Spookies.
I don't
Yeah,
have to. Yeah, I love when I don't have to explain who he is. But
yeah,
yeah, he's been on the show and he's in our movie too, and so um, it is really great when you're able to find community in this
yeah,
crazy stuff that we're involved in, and uh, unlike so many other communities, I mean, you talked about the Undertaker, so I'm assuming that you're familiar with some wrestling. And
yeah,
you know, so we did that. I was briefly in the business until I had to have neck surgery. It's
yeah,
super toxic business, even on the ground level. I mean, just literally just over the weekend, you know, we had somebody almost killed by Rampage Jackson's son.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's a super toxic and carny in every way. The paranormal, which we also dip our toes into, super toxic. People like try to cut each other's legs out from under them, and everybody beefs with everybody. It doesn't seem to exist, at least on the ground level where I'm at in this wonderful indie filmmaking. Like everybody seems to get along. We're like a fraternity. Everybody helps each other. Like you said with your Indiegogo, people just were kind enough because you were in that community to help you out there. Like, I don't really think you see that in a lot of other, I mean, hobbies or professions.
yeah, yeah.
It's
No, I agree.
yeah. So it's just one of those things where I don't know, the horror community. It's like, if I hate the word community, like everybody kind of like identifies it with so many different things now. But
Yeah,
in the horror genre, I think it's the most adept term for it. It's literally
yeah,
community, and it lives and breathes by community and these conventions and getting together and crowdfunding and supporting each other. So it's it's just an insane thing to be part of on any level. But
yeah.
how did the Indiegogo campaign work out? Did you do it for both films?
No, so we did it for just Blood Red Riverbed, and it went pretty well. We raised right around $2,000, and that got us everything we needed for like costuming and blood and props and some prosthetic effects, food and things like that. Um, but yeah, the only thing we have been having trouble with is getting it shipped out, like the perks. And yeah, that's just where we're at now, is trying to get the perks sent out, because we didn't really, I guess, budget for the post production. We budgeted for the production itself, and stupid, fucking first time mistake type shit. But I'll own up to it and say that, it was me. Like, I just wasn't ready for what we were getting signed up for, over my head. But yeah, now it's just kind of um, coming out of pocket, trying to get these perks bought and then shipped out and everything. But slowly but surely, we're hopefully getting them out soon. But yeah, because yeah, we want to try to run future campaigns, but we don't want to move any further without getting this first, And so to make up for that, for such a long wait and everything, we are including Miracle of Violence as well with all of the Indiegogo perks. Like, they're going to be getting it for free on DVD. But yeah, because a lot of the blood and some of the costuming and stuff carried over to that film anyways. So it's kind of a double whammy with it, because we made that movie so fast right after Blood Red. But yeah,
Hey, right on. That's cool, for sure. I don't have a lot of experience with it. We tried an Indiegogo once, and we made like $50 on it, and that's the extent of it. I don't know how to spread the word or market or anything like that. And all the perks we came up with, I thought were pretty badass. JC was even going to develop a game, and some of like the higher offers were going to receive this limited edition game based on the script that we were doing and everything. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm super great at producing, I think, and I think I'm good at marketing most of the time. But I cannot get any type of crowdfunding off of the ground at all.
yeah, Indiegogo, you got to be relentless with it. Honestly, it's like posting every day and sharing it and begging people to share it. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like a flashback to Nam, thinking about it now, like just how much I was pushing it out and everything. But yeah, it's rough. I'll say that Indiegogo is not for the faint of heart. But yeah, because
Yeah,
we had a small um, goal, so we were able to go like in demand with it and raise that extra $1,000 for it. But yeah, it took us an entire month to get to 1,000. But
yeah. I mean, that's still pretty good.
oh yeah,
I mean, we've had the campaign up for like a year and a half now, and it was just like a $50 contribution, and we reached out and asked if they wanted the money back because it was like a going nowhere thing. But I don't know. That's, you live and you learn. We'll figure it out. We ended up, the thing that we made in the interim, I think cost about $200. I'm not sure. I was going to ask what kind of equipment you're using. I know the one specifically said in the credits that you had somebody running VHS camera. So I was assuming
yeah,
that these were shot on video.
yeah. So the first film was filmed entirely on let's see, it was an Android, like Galaxy A24, I want to say, something like that. and then it was also an iPhone 12. Just back and forth with that, and we just muddied it up and grained it up and stuff. I ran it through the VHS like 3 times. um, but yeah, that one was just on iPhones and Android, and then the second one was mostly on the it's like a 1998 like Sony VHS, and that's what we filmed the segments on, and then the wraparound was filmed on iPhone. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
just some.
people, I think if people sleep on iPhone, they just don't know what they're doing or talking about because these iPhones, man, you can really make some incredible
Yeah.
film stuff with it. We shot our entire movie on iPhone last year, and we were able to get some amazing shots. Some stuff that even accidentally looked amazing, like just kind of falling headfirst into like an what's the term, esoteric. We just had like this
Yeah.
esoteric look for it in a lot of it, and it was just purely by coincidence that the environment and the phone matched up and created this awesome atmospheric look.
Some of the shots that had just like the sun like at a certain point with like everybody in it, like the camera was able to adjust so that like you had the backlighting, but then like you could also still see the people up front instead of it like blurring everything else. I think I know there's like if you play around with the settings, and I'm sure it's not just iPhones. There's probably Samsung and like higher end LG phones too. That if you get the settings just right on there, it's like 4K. You have like a shake stick to stop it from the wobble. It looks just like a movie, like a in theater.
Yeah. It's all
Right.
about angles and lighting for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually super curious about the stuff that you shot on like the 98 camcorder thing because why does it keep doing that? This program, man. Uh, I love shot on video. When you were talking about that earlier, I was gonna say like also Fred Vogel. He's like a local legend out where I live. Being in Pittsburgh and yeah. So I love the shot on video genre. We featured Sean Q King on here last year. He has this amazing shot on video movie called Screamwalkers. That
Oh yeah.
are you familiar?
I got it on DVD, Blu-ray.
Dude, he
But
said he
like,
was gonna send me a copy, and I never got one. But yeah, so I love shot on video, and I've always wanted to make like an actual true SOV movie. But I think everything I've ever read, and I talked to Donald Farmer in depth about this, is the editing process seems like such a pain in the ass. So, like, what did you do with the editing process on that?
So Danny did a lot of that. He because he's very much once we got the camera, he kind of smeagled it, you know. So he kind of took it over, which is fine because like I'm not the most tech savvy person in general. But yeah, he used like an app on his laptop, and I'm not sure exactly what the app was called, but what he would do is he had to use like an adapter cord to plug into his laptop and then plug into the camera, and it would play the footage from the camera onto the laptop, but he would have to record it, like screen record it, I guess, in a sense. But yeah, and it would just kind of transfer everything that way, except it wouldn't do sound. So we would either have to have the iPhone sitting there recording the sound, or we would record the sound off of the camera afterwards. And yeah, sometimes in the movie you can actually hear where it like kind of sounds muffled or like boxed in a sense. And that was whenever we had to record it off of the camera directly. But yeah, that's one thing we want to try to do better is sound, just because our sound is
I don't know
very
if
all
you're
over the place.
editing it on, but if you have a Mac and a converter cable like from whatever the camera takes to FireWire, you won't have that problem.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. because what we use I think I think we need like an audio like part with it because I think it was just doing the video. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, it's an old laptop that we're using too, so that's probably a lot to do with it as well. Probably not compatible, but yeah,
But again, that like harkens back to like you wanted to do a shot on video thing. You got this old camera. You went through it,
Mhm.
and you went through all of this pain in the ass of having to go through
Yeah,
that, put it on the laptop, figure out sound and stuff. And it's just one of those things that like that's one of the mini DVs, right?
yeah, yeah,
I
Yeah,
literally have one sitting here
it's a
too.
little bit newer than the '98, but I think it's like 2003, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
I know
digital. It's digital 8 mini DV.
some people will disagree that the mini DVs count as shot on video, but yeah, I'm such a fan. I also have one sitting here right next to
yeah,
the recording studio area. I stole that from my cousin, and we filmed our first movie on there. And I filmed over his vacation with his girlfriend at the time, and they had swam with dolphins, and it was this magical moment. And I recorded
yeah,
right over that shit. and, and,
yeah.
No remorse.
no, and it's prom. I did the prom. It was also
By the way, he spent 3
recorded
days
over.
in jail for that.
So, yeah, but the mini DV stuff that was so much easier editing wise because, like he said, you just pop that on with a FireWire and it goes straight on, and it had all the audio and stuff. So I guess
Yeah.
if when you're looking at it from kind of like that effort and elitist kind of point of view, where I mean technically not VHS, but it's all analog, but that's kind of a shortcut with what we're going for. I think
Yeah.
mini DV is super viable. I mean, the problem with those now is like, good luck finding a computer with a FireWire port. That's the
Yeah.
hardest part at this point. But
Amazon has
yeah, I mean,
converters.
That's true. I didn't even think
I
of
used,
that.
I used to have this old '90s VHS camcorder that like was so big, like it was one of those box models that would like sit on your shoulder like this, and the
Oh
viewfinder
man.
would come out around. We filmed backyard wrestling on that thing for years, and the VHS tapes that we recorded that on look better than any of like the post mini DV stuff that we ended up doing later on. Like the the right camera and the right VHS, man, that stuff looks crisp to this day. So I
And,
mean, shot on video is. I'm glad it has this resurgence, and I don't know if it's because of like Vinegar Syndrome and some of the other boutiques that have been putting them out over the last few years, but it's such a slept-on genre that
and
I think another thing to remember
Introvision.
is the mini DVs and the 8, whatever they were called, the mini 8s were only filming at was it 360p resolution, whereas VHS were filming at a full 1080p.
That's a good point. Um, wow, we're hitting that hour mark. There's so many other questions I wanted to ask about. Like, you have such a diverse cast in both of these movies. Like, I thought it was, just from the standpoint where I'm constantly trying to figure out who I'm going to put in front of the camera. Uh, like, how did you end up getting such a large cast for this stuff?
so they're all like friends that we've have. A lot of them they answered our casting call. But yeah, most of them we reached out to personally, just like who we thought the characters were kind of written for. Some of them were written directly for them, but yeah, a lot of them are just friends, like people that we hang out with when we go out to the bar, or people we went to high school with, or yeah. it's kind of weird because it's people from all different walks of life, actually. Yeah, so like that just kind of wanted to come together and support us and making these things happen. But yeah, yeah, it's weird, kind of like whenever we'd have people on set, and it's like you're from high school and you're from hanging out at the club, like it's bringing all these different people together was crazy to see, honestly. Like, yeah, this group of friends with this group of friends, but yeah, they're all friends for sure.
Yeah, man, I like them. It was you have like calling them diverse is one thing, but it's like they're so diverse that it brings life to what you're watching. Like I love in the beginning of Red River where there's just like this campfire scene and like the real big dude that's telling the story, like he's so different from when you get to a point where the one dude's killed while he's smoking, right? And I loved that scene where he keeps smoking while he's being killed the whole time. Like that, I loved it. I wanted to point that out too because I thought that was so fun. I was watching it. I was like, man, I wish I didn't see this and I thought of this because this is awesome, and now I could never use it. Uh, yeah, and then you have the one dude that gets beheaded, right? His scream was visceral. It was like amazing. The scream from that scene, like I heard it. I left the room and I was dealing with my kids and I heard it because I had it like playing in the kitchen while I was making dinner earlier. And yeah, just everybody is so unique, and it just feels like it doesn't feel like you just have your pals sitting there making this movie with you because of how unique everybody is.
Yeah, it's cool because like everybody was so like for it. They were so willing to create these characters with us and kind of go on this journey and make the most of the experience. Because like there's a lot of times where we definitely didn't get what we wanted shoot wise because like we would get too drunk, we would have too much fun. And so yeah, that was one of our big hurdles with the first one, and something we had to make sure we tried to not continue on into the second one. But
We have
yeah,
that problem every time. Anytime we do anything.
yeah.
His wife can vouch for it.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, though. If that's your biggest issue when you're shooting, it's like your own thing that you can fix next time, and just maybe not kick back so much. This
Yeah.
set, like that's still cool. And I was gonna ask about that too because when they're in a campfire and they're like pounding it, well, I don't know, it looked like he was just straight drinking vodka or something. So I was gonna ask if that was real.
No, that was like the one time it wasn't real, actually, in the whole movie. Yeah.
All right. It was super convincing. I thought it was 100% actual stuff that he was drinking. So
Yeah, the big guy there, he drinks a lot of water, and so like he just brought his big old container of water and was drinking on it, and we're like, "Can we use that for the movie?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." But
oh yeah, that's awesome. Another thing I wanted to ask.
Important question that I think all of our viewers are going to want to know. Do you have any relation to Buck Strickland?
no, I don't think so. There's a chance. I don't know. I don't know too many Stricklands though. So
It was the propane, the guy that owned the propane place at Hank on King of the Hill.
Fuck. Oh yeah, I used to get that in elementary school for my science teacher. Yeah, he used to be like Strickland.
You're more of a John Redcorn person.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
I
got the little mustache for more of a Joseph. Yeah.
The school bus. How did you get access to a school bus?
So the people that were in that scene, they were the owners to Sparrowhawk Camp. And down here on the river, there's like a bunch of like just camps and resorts along the river, and they own one of the bigger ones here. And they they were wanting to use their 4-wheeler instead. Like they had this crazy idea of like getting beheaded with like driving by on a 4-wheeler. I was like, I don't know about that. Yeah, like we could probably use the bus. And they're like, yeah, let's use the bus. And yeah, they were full on board for everything, which is cool because we did the whole party scene out at Sparrowhawk Camp, and like most of the film was there, like the bathroom stuff, all of that was out there on their place. But yeah, and it was cool to have them in the movie to kill them off, you know, and because I guess not too many times you get the landowners, and that was kind of the only thing that they wanted out of it, was like we can use all of their land and stuff. They just wanted to get killed off in the movie, and so we're like, okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, that's like one of the location settings that just really jumped out as being different from any of the other stuff that I had seen in the many years of watching like low budget and shot on video and whatnot. So I was like immediately kind of drawn to it. It's like, man, that's great. I'm gonna have to ask how he managed how they scored a school bus. And not only it was a different color. It was like painted black or blue or something to that effect, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, I really like their stuff. And we're hitting that, like we're at 56 minutes. We usually like kill it, and we like to give our guests an opportunity to promote all of their stuff. And I want to make sure you have an opportunity to plug everything. All of the links that you sent, I'm going to include in our show notes and everything like that. So we'll have those there. But for the people who might be listening on the audio format and don't have it scrolling in front of them or anything like that, feel free. I want you to go ahead and take a couple of moments here and plug away.
All right. So our top place is going to be Instagram. That's the best place to find me. That's just my addiction. I'm just always on Instagram. But yeah, Stricknyne Films on Instagram or Facebook, and then also on YouTube, Stricknyne Films as well. On our YouTube, you can find our feature-length wrestling documentary, Behind the Bell, UWE. And that's something that we did on our own time, something that's cool and fun that takes you behind the curtain and shows you what goes on in the wrestling business. We also have a couple of short films on there, along with the trailers for our feature films. We also have Blood Red Riverbed available on VHS and Blu-ray. VHS is going to be through Gosh Darn Video, which is on Etsy. And then, no, he's Big Cartel. Sorry, I lied. It's Big Cartel for him. And then Etsy is where you'll find Colton Classic Films. And that is where you'll get our special edition Blu-rays. And our special edition Blu-rays, they come with a limited edition slipcover. They come with a 11 by 17 poster, and then a postcard and a set of pogs. But that's with that. Yeah, it's so random. Yeah, pogs. But yeah, and then we're gonna have Miracle of Violence released soon on DVD. We're hoping sometime in October, possibly. We're trying to get a site like our own website up, and we'll have everything on there. But that's not set in stone yet. We just haven't been able to get to that opportunity yet. But if you do want the chance to watch Blood Red Riverbed on your own, it will be going up on YouTube in the month of October, and it'll be limited to the month of October. But yeah, that'll be a special chance to see our first film and get a chance to see what we're about. We don't really have any other screenings coming up for the year, except maybe ClickFest. We are playing a couple of our segments from the Miracle of Violence at ClickFest, which is in Fulton, Missouri, and that'll be October 11th. But I think that is all the plugs I've got. I think that's everything.
Awesome.
When you say
Awesome.
pogs, do you mean pogs like POG or like pogs like PAWG?
We love them both.
POG. A little bit.
That's great. I was just thinking about Pogs the other day, and I won't tell you which one, but It was definitely on my mind.
The D
Yeah,
stands for
awesome.
guys. He was thinking of me.
Awesome interview, man. Great chat. I really liked it. I like what you guys do. I had so much more I wanted to get into. I'd love to have you back, maybe even with your brother, if possible,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get more into that. I definitely wanted to ask about the wrestling doc, but we can definitely save that for next time. Um, Appreciate you
Yeah,
coming on.
we're
I think
working on another one too.
awesome. Yeah, I would love to. We'd love to talk about that. We're into that as well. But yeah, JC, I think we did it right.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull off the outro.
But we'll try the outro, and if not, I'll edit it later. But yeah, Darrell, it was awesome, and you are no longer
Thank you
hostage
so
and
much.
free to go.
I
Run.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
The preceding program has been brought to you by the Watchers Podcast Network. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends to help grow our network. Check us out on all social media platforms, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, thanks for your support.